Welcome. My name is Samsioe and I am a researcher at Lund University in consumer culture. Today we are here to talk about the challenges that Europe faces when it comes to overproduction and overconsumption of clothing. And yesterday, on May 20th, we had a research seminar here at Lund University that was titled Rethinking Europe's Clothing Sector, the Transformation of Production, Consumption and Policy. So the film here today follows the conversations that we had yesterday at the seminar. And here today, we have two of the researchers that presented their projects and research results at the seminar yesterday. And I'm going to turn to each one of you so you can introduce yourself and then speak a little bit about the different projects that you've been working in. So I'll turn to you first, Mariangela, and then I'll go to you, Réka.
Yes. Thank you, Emma. I'm Mariangela Lavanga and I work at the Erasmus University in Rotterdam as an associate professor of cultural economics and entrepreneurship. And I bring my knowledge and background in cultural economics, economic geography, sustainability, transition in the fashion and textile industry.
Thank you. And Réka, please.
Thank you. My name is Réka Tölg. I'm a consumption researcher with a background in marketing and business administration. I work as a postdoctoral researcher and I'm Emma's colleague in the CARE project as well. And currently my research is focused on sustainability transition within the household context.
Well, thank you, Réka. And now we go back to Mariangela. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the FABRIX project is about?
Yes. FABRIX stands for Fostering Local Beautiful and Sustainably Designed Regenerative Textile and Clothing Ecosystem with two pilot cities, Athens in Greece and Rotterdam in the Netherlands. And the call where we apply for this funding wanted to understand how we can localize urban manufacturing in cities, where we could also support creativity and the new European Bauhaus principles. It's a consortium of 9 partners led by the Technical University in Delft in the Netherlands. And we have a team of 3 universities, 3 innovation companies, a municipality, a social factory, and an hub of European hub of textile labs across Europe. The main goal of FABRIX, and this is linked very much to the call that we applied for, it's very much to understand both the spatial and the network dynamics of the textile and clothing sector in the 2 cities. And at the same time also support the actors and the local ecosystem to strengthen the regenerative potential of urban and local manufacturing. And by doing so, also the aim is to develop a platform, so a digital platform that could strengthen and support the local actors in the ecosystem.
Thank you. Great. And if we then go back to the CARE project, could you tell us a little bit more about this project?
Yeah. So the CARE project is also a Horizon Europe funded project. CARE stands for Circular Consumption Activities to Transform Households Towards Material Efficiency. So the focus is on transforming household practices in 100 European households across 5 European countries. And those countries are Sweden, Norway, Finland, Estonia, and Germany. So the project is led by Tampere University in Finland, and we are 11 consortium partners across these 5 countries, and we also have a research university partner in Austria. So the partners are across the university sector. We also have local experts and policy making bodies involved, and those who are focused on community engagement.
Yeah. So if we then go back to the FABRIX project, Réka was here talking about the households and consumption. How would you, coming from a FABRIX point of view, think about consumption then?
I think over the last decades, cities have become merely a place of consumption, and that detachment from production is also why we are, let's say, dealing with this issue of high amount of waste, not just in the textile. I mean, you are also addressing the food industry in the CARE project. At the same time, all the development at the different policy level from EU to local are asking government to imagine a future, a circular future, and develop strategy to reach these targets by 2030 or 2050. And by doing so, if we want to be honest and real, we have to plan for spaces that allow circularity, but also invest in capacity building for different inhabitants of the city. So both the producer and the consumer, who are all basically urban citizens. And in that sense, what we are doing with FABRIX is try to figure out also what can be relocalized in an effective way, and in doing so, reconnecting the actors in a local supply chain, see what's missing, in that sense also help cities to specialize in some aspect of this circular supply chain.
Yes. And then if we then turn back to the CARE project, so if you look at CARE, we're also there addressing the challenges of overconsumption, right? Could you tell us a bit more about how that is done in the project?
So as Mariangela mentioned, half of our households are focusing on food waste reduction, and the other half, which is maybe more relevant for our discussion today, on clothing consumption and extending the lifespan of clothing items through the use phase. So we know from previous research that as the production of new items have increased, the use of each garment has reduced. And this means that the garments are not used for as long as they've been technically designed for. So in the CARE project with the households who are focusing on clothing consumption, we're trying to see what sort of support and infrastructures they need to be able to contribute to extending the clothing lifespan. So it's not only about the sort of consumer responsibility, but if we give these capabilities and support through various workshops and skill building, we would like to see how the households can extend or contribute to extending the lifespan of clothing items. And we do this through a series of interventions. So there are 3 interventions over 1.5 years that the households are participating in. So the first one was focused on changing laundry habits, so sort of reducing wear and tear on clothes that way. The second one focused on repair, so that households can gain more skills in fixing what's broken. And the last one that we are sort of entering soon after the summer is using the wardrobe better, so making use what they already have in the home.
Well, thank you, Réka. That sounds really exciting to know more about the CARE project. But projects are almost coming to an end, or CARE has a little bit more time left in it. But we would like to talk a little bit about the key takeaways or impacts that the projects have. So could you say something about this from the FABRIX project?
Yeah. Definitely we want to provide more evidence to cities and government and stakeholders to understand how and what aspect of production can be relocalized in cities. And in that sense, I think both CARE and FABRIX are trying to bridge this gap between production and consumption in spaces. And the question of price for consumer and cost for producer, of course, it's one of the key elements that is always mentioned. Consumer mentioned that sustainable fashion is too pricey. Producers said that producing locally it's too costly. So what we argue in FABRIX is that we should not just look and check costs of production, but also transaction costs linked to finding the right partners to produce garments, building trust, linked to that increased transparency in the supply chain. And we are in the right moment where also the EU and all the regulation are asking for that. So FABRIX, I think, comes in the right moment to give the first evidence that this system could work. It's more a question of understanding what aspect you can relocalize, and as a city, how or in which part of the supply chain I could respecialize as urban economy. And in FABRIX, we really value the interaction, the face-to-face interaction with all the stakeholders in the system. But at the same time, we also are developing a digital platform. So the question is to what extent the digital can also amplify what we are supporting already in the local setting. And with some cascade funding, we selected 2 facilitators in each city and 10 SMEs in both cities. So we are now in the process of also observing how these actors start to work together. Some of them did not know each other, some yes. And we already see some interesting collaboration happening. So the platform hopefully could amplify this connectivity in the local ecosystem.
Thank you. Well, the local and the digital are also very important when it comes to the CARE project. So would you say something about this first and then go into more the key takeaways from the CARE project?
Yeah, thank you. Those are interesting themes, so thank you for raising them as well. So in CARE, while we're working with the sort of same methodology across these 5 countries, there's a very specific focus on designing the interventions and adapting them according to the local conditions. So some of the municipalities are geographically larger. Some of them, for instance, like in Sweden, we have Gothenburg, which is a city, and all the households live within that city. So it is very important when, for instance, designing workshops, how can we make use of local experts and infrastructures that are already present in the city, and the households can access them also after the study. And this aspect of building communities and sort of amplifying, as you said, change through that. We also have a focus on helping households to connect and sort of discussing the potentials for clothing lifetime extension with each other, because often how we use clothes is very cultural and social. So the new ways also need to be normalized. So it's important in CARE that we bring together the households and give them the opportunity to discuss and help each other as well. And regarding the key takeaways, we know from previous research that morally assigning responsibility to consumers in itself doesn't necessarily enable change. So within CARE, we're really trying to learn what is the support that works and helps households transform their practices, and how can we eventually sort of scale these solutions across the participating European countries, but still fitting the local conditions.
So thank you both for sharing more about these projects. And before we conclude, we would also like to mention that this ongoing conversation here during the film and during the seminar held at Lund University yesterday is part of an ongoing collaboration between Lund University and Erasmus University. And we will continue this collaboration in upcoming conferences and in upcoming funding proposals. Thank you for watching.